sub and share.
Searching for the truth. UFOs, aliens, greys and ufology. Real images, real stories, real videos, real cases, researched and investigated by professionals in the field and cutting-edge discoveries. Multiple witnesses, abduction accounts brought to you by Team The Out There channel. Good to be back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Yo. Hey. Got one person waiting ready. That's a miracle. How's it going, gamer? Hope you've been good. Me, I got this devil fly just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Annoying me. Go away. I'll call that fly MUFON, I think. Annoyance. Got a notification this time, did you? I always get my own ones. I'm surprised that. Have you got it selected all? Because a lot of people, what Google does is they gradually select it to occasionally notify. You have to click on the bell and make sure it's always stuck on all ALL. All notifications. Like, let's just quickly show you, just in case. I probably don't get the little bell, but let's see. Am I subscribed to that one? MUFON. Let's just subscribe. Oh, they changed it, have they? Sign in. Alright. Not signed in for some reason. It's kind of strange. I thought it was. Looks like I'm not logged in that one. Okay, let's just open up this one then. One of them's about to be logged in. There must be a reason I did that. Mostly because I'm blocked. Or I was testing to see if comments vanished, right? Probably more likely. Yeah, don't get the bell there. There we go again. Horrible keyboard. I'll just do a search for a YouTube video. Anyone. Normally go videos. If you like something, you normally sub to it, don't you? Dog. Movie. Suppose you could do that one. It's probably copyrighted though. And normally go sub.
Hey! No! No! You're just a demon! You're just a demon!
A demon dog. Subscribe, and then you get the bell. Now, default, you'd think should be all, but it's not always. And you got, what's the other option? Personalized. I think that might be new, actually. Used to be occasionally. Go away. What's the other one? None. Yeah, that looks like they changed the terminology there. It used to be occasionally. So it looks like they've expanded it out so you can actually choose the times you want to be notified. Anyway, just check out that. It's set to all, then you should be alright. Okay. Did it unsub? Unsub. Okay. Should be constant in all browsers as far as I know. Google is doing something strange though. Every time I upload a new live stream, I always lose 1 or 2 subs, as you can tell. That doesn't progress very far. Why, I don't know. But you can see the subs gone out a wee bit on all the other alt media. And it's stalled or gone backwards on YouTube. So yeah, I guess I'm being ghosted or blacklisted. Unless I get up to 5,000 subs or something. Then I've been trying to ask people kindly to sub to me to get me up to 5,000. The only way to do that is to team up with fraud channels, which I would never do in a billion years, or trillion, billion, trillion, zillion years. Because I have morals. I ain't gonna ever call third phase of the moon good guys, ever. Because they're far from it. Still promoting green rubbish. Still promoting, what was the last one? Air show being UFOs. Zero research. You know, they might not be experts, but as you know, most people can bring up Google and do a quick search on events and to rule it out as an air show. Like I showed yesterday at the end of the nanotechnology episode I did. I got sort of trolled on that one on BitChute too. They said it was dull. So people like that I don't want to deal with. Low IQ or low attention span is what I call it. Probably in the teen to 20 something range probably. To be an adult student, you can't call science dull. Or seeing how all this technology fits in with the UFO field. This is just mindless. This is the problem with fraud channels, of course. They teach and deliver mindless stuff to people, you know, where they don't have to have critical thinking. And just go into their fantasies. It's the amount of people that sub to me and then they see a debunk, right? And it's sort of, it's like it breaks down their whole world view and they go into a mental state and have to unsub and or abuse or whatever. This is crazy, the UFO people. So yeah, I don't think you need to see a UFO to be mental, as Pentagon, the claims were being posted around yesterday. I'm not sure if that's what was actually what was said in the papers, because we didn't actually get a link to any of them in any of the articles. Go away, fly. Either way, glad to be back. Good to be back. You got to learn the song. This variation of it on YouTube, good to be back, with more modernized version of it. Yeah, so we should get on. Right, I haven't got my side thing up, have I? I haven't said what today's show was. And I had it cut and pasted, now I've lost it in the pasting, I think. And forgot to do the kill list as well. Some nasty background tasks. Okay, so today is going to be what the header said. Updates, and I wish I cut and pasted it. It saves me doing this. Doesn't always work when you're dealing with 2 screens for some reason. Microsoft for you. updates on more information comes in on debunks that confirms things. I generally update it. I normally have a go at it and give my best guess, of course. And BLIMPS and ships. Okay. There you go. Now I can cut and paste it into the side. Here we go. I tell you, there's a lot of setting up to do. You normally have some helpers been out, but I'm not sure how they could do with this without having remote control or using some third-party application like StreamYard, which is not worth the money. So yeah, today's show updates, TICTACs, blimps and ships, and our website's there and pinned comments. It should be. I'll do that now, and we're good to go. Okay, finally. Minimize. Should better click on that and it should minimize. Looks like it might be double click. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, so we did the nanotechnology yesterday. I think it got a few likes on YouTube. I'll just have a quick look. 47 views only and 12 likes. That's a pretty good ratio, isn't it? Someone called it dull on BitChute. Yeah, I did take a wee while to start that one too yesterday. But that's why I give bookmarks here, so you can actually skip to the main topic if you don't listen to what's going on in my life, or channel's life, or ufology life, or updates on various things that I normally say in the first intros. I don't know why people give me such a hard time. Considering most of the UFO channels out there are talking heads anyway, and they go for 1 to 2 hours too. So yeah, hopefully mine's more content related than talking, you know, theorizing. Although it's alright to theorize, but it's also good to have some factual stuff in. And let's just have a quick check on UFO Stalker. I don't think they've done any updates apart from this thing popping down now. I don't think it used to do that. It looks like the video is still not playing. And I think I've got a picture here, have I? And missing pictures still. Yep, still down. Total waste of space, those people. Okay. So I didn't close that one down. Go back to the other browser. And we should be good to go now. Oh, closed the wrong one, did I? Let me just check. Yep. Started the wrong one again. Because they all of them use chromium, which is the base code for Chrome. Alright, there we go. I think that's the one we're going to look at today. Yep. First up, though, MUFON was talking about Google Earth has been re-edited again, and the third phase stuff that was added to it has been removed and put back to S4 facility. But of course, S4 could just mean shaft 4, as if it's a mining site. Which may be for dumping nuclear waste, right? That's why they got concrete caps there. So they gradually fill up old mines, and then they cap it off for so many years, and then eventually half decays to where it becomes background radiation and safe to dump it. Or whatever. Whatever they do with it after that point. It's good to see that there might be recycling some of it, like the Iranian rods once they're depleted. They're now looking at carbon batteries that last 10 years. So whether that will fit in with flying cars, I don't know. But yeah, one thing I did notice when he was presenting this, he was making claims which are still wrong, that no one could put third phase on Google Earth, and I did. He said they could do it on maps, but not Google Earth. I did it on both. So I made a little video up, if you've not seen that, where I actually demonstrate it, or show it at least. But yeah, I was looking at this and I thought, interesting. I'll just bring up the real big picture of it. Classic pareidolia, but it's a good one. With the lady in the nightgown. She kind of looks alien face too. I'll see if I can get in the proper editor though, so we can zoom in on it. Into my side chat. There we go. We still got anyone out there? Stats are crazy on this, so you have to have more than 3 people to be sure you got one person. Anyway, yeah, I think I put it in. So the original photo snap I took of this was this one here, and I thought it was quite interesting. See here, looks like a lady with a fringe sleeping, and looks like a pillow there, right? And you can see her eyes, sort of maybe a wider nose there. Maybe she's Indian. And she's got a long jaw, which is really reminds me of the giants, Indian giants out there. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. It just popped out when I was looking at his stream. Yet, if you look at the rest of it, it kind of looks like a body too, right? Looks like a nightgown. So it looks like her arms going behind her back here. And it's going up to her hips here. And her other hand's coming down here. It looks like a hand here, doesn't it? See, it's one of the best pareidolia I've seen. Looks like a sleeve going up here, a nightgown, then looks like he's got a knee joint coming out this way with the hip, or the thigh, going down there. Maybe the other leg or feet coming out here. But yeah, I thought, wow, that's amazing. And you just have to get the right angle for that, of course, in the right elevation for it to pop up. So yeah, I thought I might re-show that, because people are saying, well, I don't see anything. But you can see it here, the face. I suppose you could play around with filters on it. It's one of the best Google Earth ones I've seen, I reckon. You've heard about possibly Indians modifying the landscape for certain angles, where it actually looks like statues, but natural. Especially in the Badlands. I did a couple of episodes on the Badlands, and I showed you there was more than just one Indian. There was a classic Indian guy with a feather. But I showed there was also what looked like Vikings, Egyptians. There was an Egyptian one. I'll see if I can find it in a minute, but it's really interesting. You know, even if it's pareidolia, there may be something there. 1, 2. I have to muck around with that. Did it work? No. So look at this hit and miss. Try again. Should be at the end, shouldn't it? I thought I moved it back there. It keeps moving. I suppose I've lost the thing now. Yep. You had to click it twice. Strange. See, it's not as big as what I had it though. Zoom in. Zoom in. I'm not sure it shows up better now. But you can do this. You can draw a box around the head. And you can go... Then you can muck around with the colours. The easiest way to do that was as the professional colour curves, where you can change the brightness and all sorts. There you go, look. Looks almost like the lips coming up over the nose. Looks like a old witch hag now, doesn't it? Oh, that's really mucking around with it. But, yeah. Looks like the mouth coming up here. You know, where you get those ladies with no teeth in them, and they put their bottom lip over the top one, and they squash up their face. Flip colour. I think it's better than the face on mask. Face on Mars, I mean. Not mask. That fly is annoying me still. I don't know, it kind of looks like a blonde, really, doesn't it? Nordic alien. Viking. It's almost demon-like there. CPU's mucking around. What are you doing, CPU? Where's it all gone to? Oh, you can't see anything like that. Yeah, I kind of think it looks more like that, doesn't it? Demon girl. Oop. What do I do now? Let's leave it at that. Just a bit of fun. And I did actually draw around it very quickly. Outline what I just said. Mountain S4 lady. Although, unless you zoom in, you don't see the eyes. That's why I always keep the original. Hello, buddy. Hey, John. How's it going? I'm enjoying your broadcast. While I'm sitting outside on the patio. Where's the Milo? Is he keeping you busy? Is he a naughty boy occasionally? Like Charlie is. Next bit. So I was going to look at the Badlands one, which is really similar to these ones. I did a really good one on how to move, how they moved the stones around in South America to build all their big pyramids and things, and how they used to make a canal first and reed boats to move the big blocks of wood from the quarry site, which was normally up in the mountains, and that was in South America, and that's where they got the clue that the Egyptians used the same building technique for the Great Pyramids. But the canal they fill in afterwards, but in the South American city, they didn't. But unfortunately, I had some really serious buggy software for the microphone, and it totally screwed it up. And I had to try to re-edit it to make it reasonable again, but it was really bassy. Because a lot of the corruption was in the high frequencies, right? So if you type in Badlands, you should be able to find that old episode, especially if you're new to the channel. If it's going to take my input. This second monitor is actually meant to be a touch screen, but I've never got it going. I think you have to make sure it's only on USB only. And I thought, nah, this sounds like it's going to use up more CPU than I want. So I never bothered with it. And of course, it's so easy to knock a screen and have all buttons, like your tablet. Which is what I really hate about tablets. It's so easy to... I also have to push enter key. Let's see. Okay, bad. Might be one word. That was meant to be land. What was it doing? I was talking about touch, and I typed in the word touch. I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it. Badland. And UFOs do make us finally crazy. Pentagon must be right. Okay, so a multiverse theory. Badlands, was that the one? Nope. Oh, what's going on? So I didn't do that. I was just scrolling and decided to click it. Looks like it might have to be one word. Okay, we get there. BADLANDS. Right, this time. Huh? What have I done wrong this time? Ah, crap, what's that up there? Bracket. Did I go too far? I must have done. Oh, perhaps. Can't wait to get my new keyboard. It has to come next week. Here we go. All the other ones. Egyptian head. What was the other one? Oh, right. African slave or African headdress. There was also Roman, I think. That was quite interesting. Oh, here's the one that I had to redo. Was it levitating stones moving? Is it the re-edit though? Oh no, here's the re-edit. So I re-edited it and the audio is really bad. Let's just have a quick listen. It's really bassy, I think. Dropping in his hands, but there you go.
In great detail on that.
See how close he is to this. He's probably got a needle inside that piece of wood there. Someday I'll have to redo that one, I guess. Through books and also on wrists. So this terrible audio, but it is a bit better than some other people's bad audio. Badlands, yeah, let's have a quick look at that one again. Today, going live. Let's see. So we got, of course it could have got eroded with. Okay, so we got this African lady here, see that? Flat nose, or African man with one of those crazy headdresses, which related to Sirius B, I think it is, where it's meant to represent the two stars and rotating around the sun. So was that carved, or was that just Mother Nature just messing with us, guys? It's this amazing pareidolia, isn't it? Do you see that? See the black man there? Could it have been carved out? But these little black marks are meant to be trees. So someone's planted trees that makes a nose, like black man's nose. And over here, I'm drawing around where the Egyptian headdresses, you know, the long heads, and it looks like a pharaoh with one of the beards, right? And everybody's looking at, I'm talking about on Ancient Aliens, they're only seeing the silly Indian one. And I thought, well, how about all the others I'm seeing? Because I'm really good at picking up these pattern recognitions. There's one that's meant to be a fish. You know, the fish lake. And that's me inserting a type of catfish, because catfish is very common over the lake, and see how well it fits. That was a very good episode. Go and check it out anyway. I'm pretty sure if you like Google Earth stuff, pareidolia, you'll love it. So I'll post it on the side here. Badlands. Doesn't even sound like a really good name, does it? It's like you shouldn't be there. Paste. There you go. Let's let me get just before then. Goes on a fair bit because there's quite a few that I spotted. No, it's very fiddly. There's another one. That's the Indian one, isn't it? There you go, the Indian with the headdress. And I scrolled around and said, well, there's other ones here. But yeah, you can see that's an Indian face. Classic Indian face. With Indian headdress, looks like feathers. Again, that's using trees as well. Mother Nature having a laugh. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. UFOs done it millions of years ago, and knew it would erode with rain and water and look natural. Who knows? Good conspiracy theory there. People delving into the deep side. Okay, let's give it a wee bit more. Yeah, I'm doing the African lady now. So I looked at African lady, but I reckon it's an African man. And here, if you look at that one in between, almost looks like an alien head. See that there? Sort of look on a slopey angle. With small eyes though. Looks like a long face and a long head. It almost looks like a mantis head. Kind of creepy. Anyway, wasting time on that, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure. How many people watched that one? I thought that would be very popular.
Going live.
It's only had 4 likes on it, guys. In fact, I can even add one. Can I? No. I'm not logged in. 5 likes
Welcome to
and
the update
only 82 views.
Live stream 153.
And that's better than all the
Let's see,
crap
a
I've
few
seen
of
on
some music.
Paradolia on all those other sites with rocks and they should check out planet Earth first before they go to other planets. But it'd be amazing if you suddenly saw this sort of pattern happening. It looks more like it's on purpose, you know. Indian head, African head, Egyptians. That's the type of things that the aliens would have visited at the time, wouldn't it? The Indians, Red Indians, or Native Indians. We're not allowed to say red, are we? Certainly Africa, big continent, they would have landed there for sure. And Egypt. So, yeah. Stats-wise, it seems either Paradolia is just super statistical, or it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, I did actually do some interesting inserts onto these ones too, that I got from Joss Gates Goes to Investigate on Expedition X. I think I added some snaps in of the read boats. Alright, here I redone the Indian head one. So it's in there somewhere. So that one's probably worth checking out again, but you probably want this one with the better audio. Copy link address. Moving stones. I also play a clip from yeah, it didn't work, did it? I also play a clip from Ancient Aliens Debunked, where they catch them in a lie about them being hard as rock. Turns out to be they're actually really soft rock, and they lied. How they cut the stones. So it should be in that one too. Anyway, moving on. So that's Paradolia out of the way with. If you want to come and talk, and we can give it a try. I'm not sure who's watching out there. Anyone wants to talk, just say yeah, and I'll put it up again. John, if you're still there, you probably could do a call in if you want to. I'll see if it works. Okay, so how many years ago was that one? We got an update to this one. Go away, fly. But it's got 13 likes on it, so it's quite interesting. It's called the Baja UFO, I think. List of views. So it's got 138 views, but so I did some analysis on that particular video, which is this one here. Although I didn't use the original, I don't think. I should have used the original video, and I may have got the same results as MUFON did. But I thought, the black and white tones there almost seem to line up with the Goodyear blimp, right? And it's so blurry. And you can't normally see the tail fin. It normally fades. And yeah, MUFON put out the analysis on it. Obviously they went to see the guy where he's standing and collected all the angles and stuff, which Third Phase didn't put up. And of course they wouldn't have access to it. But yeah, they put out this little thing here, update on that one. So let's just play their one under fair use. I won't play it all. And they get a plug, you see. This is the first thing I've seen on MUFON in a long time that actually is useful. They actually talk about the tools they use and what you can get. Although I would have done it in a different way. And manually overlaid it myself if I was going to spend the time on it properly. But that was a quick filter job I did. What they did is they overlaid all the best images of it and used some special algorithm to merge them. Normally I do that manually myself. I think they use Photoshop and some add-on tools. But anyway, they talk about it here. It's just a clip from one of their symposiums.
To stand out more than any other. The first case starts off a little dry.
Is that loud enough?
But I'm going to ask for some audience participation.
Seems a bit
as we
low.
go along. It took place south of Tijuana, Mexico. The investigator was Greg Cisco. He is an amateur astronomer and a photo analyst. And what he did to figure this out was amazing. He, as an astronomer, uses different software. And I'll give you a brief overview now and quickly go through the slides.
See, all these guys on MUFON should know this procedure anyway. Should be part of their training. But yeah, it's very similar to what I do. So maybe they're finally learning how to present and teach people.
He took a video and took individual frames from it and then stacked the individual photos that he took from the video to make it clearer and clearer and clearer. This is what astronomers do with stars. And let's see what he did.
So you might remember this one with the stupid tuba playing in the background. Probably one of the kids in the family. Okay, so when we first saw this on Third Phase, we weren't sure which direction it was looking. It looks like it's like a mountain range there with sky above. But it turns out to be that it's actually overlooking water, which you can't see where the horizon line is. It's somewhere there, and it blends in with the sky. So how many times we've seen those ones where it looks like a blimp or a UFO, and it turns out to be a mirage of a ship on the sea. So this is one of these cases, actually.
It's about a minute.
And I didn't know that when I looked at it.
The fellow was in his backyard, and he saw something far away in the sky. and he began filming it.
Okay,
What
it's going
music he was
towards
listening
the
to, I have
mountain,
no
is he?
idea.
See here? Where do we start to see a difference? Where we think it's that damn fly is annoying me, sorry. I thought it went into my drink. I can't have a fly in my drink. I don't want protein. So yeah, it looks like a cloud layer or fog layer. So we just keep on going. And now it's focusing on
This
something.
is definitely not an airplane. It seems to be rotating.
Now once you know where the sea line is, and you know Fata Morgana only happens at a certain angle. So the ship can be behind the horizon line here, and it's being projected up into the sky. So this is actually a ship, but it doesn't look very good, a bit like my one, until we start stacking the images.
And that was it. The person was looking southwest from this location. That's the Pacific Ocean Air, just south of San Diego in Mexico, 5 miles in from Tijuana.
So at the time we didn't
And
know this
this
was a MUFON case, did we? They didn't give us a number or anything like that, because that's what forward channels do.
Still, this is what the object looked like. This is what it looked like embossed to give you a better impression of the shape.
Boston is useless.
Now, what's interesting is if you go down south to Ensenada, this location becomes important in our investigation later.
Down there?
He used PIP software, and then he used Registax, and then he used Topaz Gigapixel, which is an addition to Photoshop. And this was to clean up, all of this was to clean up an image of what we were looking at on the video.
So there's some software I'm not heard of here. But he might be
Just
doing
gonna
it
go
more
through it
complicated
quickly.
way. So I might have to have a play around with
He
this.
extracted each frame that was clear enough to stack.
Okay, normally to extract frames I use FFmpeg. It does it really easily. He's using the software called PIP. So we might have to check that out, see if it makes it any easier. I suppose it's more GUI based in command line. Then he's using some other software after that to stack it.
And then he basically laid them all on top of each other with Registax.
Okay, I need to check out that Registax. That might be a handy little tool, because I normally do it manually in the editor, which is a hard way of doing it. And generally I don't want to do that while I'm doing a live show. But you're still going to have to move the images if it's slightly moving. Just wavelets is needed. Okay, let's keep on going.
And then he aligned each photo so that it would overlay the object perfectly. That's the first image, that's the second image. Here's the audience participation part. What does that look like to anybody? And
Okay, it doesn't look much more improvement, does it, at that level? Until we zoom in. So let's just do that. Still doesn't look much, does it? Alright, that circle that they had on the other map was actually the MUFON logo. Okay, so this is what we got originally, I think. In fact, it looks better than what I had through Third Phases 1. And now it doesn't actually look so much like a blimp. I should have probably downloaded the MUFON video directly. And then he started stacking. And it almost looks like it sharpens as well. But maybe that's part of the stacking process. Of course, if it's a mirage, we shouldn't be able to see like in detail, like a full ship floating, really. Normally it's distorted somehow. But what's interesting is the very front of that, which I can't seem to... Oh, there we go. The very front of that one, you can see it's super clear. And it fits the shape of a stern, is it? Of the ship, front of the ship. Let's see if I can get it in closer. I don't know if you'll zoom it out. You might do. Let's just keep on moving.
Huh? The Millennial Falcon. Anybody else? A cruise ship. It is.
There we go. Oh. So again, we're talking about angles here. It normally happens no higher than a certain distance above the waterline. Now we needed to know that for part of the information, but MUFON gets all that. So let's just go back and zoom in this one. Here we go. Now it looks like a cruise ship, you know, parts of it does anyway. See, at the front of the ship is now super clear with the stacking, and that rules out a blimp straight away, doesn't it? You can see it's got a, an anchor point there. It's got the front of the ship there, and it's got a load of cabins which have lots of windows going along. But the rest of it's blurry, right? It's still not the best, but that very front bit is super clear, which is kind of interesting, why that part of it stood out compared to the rest of it. Maybe the angle the ship was on. I suppose some of those little blobby bits would be lifeboats as well, wouldn't it? But they show the actual picture of the ship. So once they see a ship, they had to then verify was there any ships moving around in the harbour that day. So they're pretty complete on their investigation here.
It was a superior mirage, sometimes called Fata Morgana, named after King Arthur's shape-shifting evil sister. I don't know why. But a superior mirage is one that you see in the air, as compared to an inferior mirage, which is one you see on the road ahead of you when you're driving.
Okay. Hey, Michael. You're up late, aren't you? Thanks for showing up, though. And saying hello. So this is one of MUFON's best things I've ever seen in 6 years of MUFON. Where they started doing stuff and training using online videos like I do. So they found out there was actually a ship in the harbour. I'm not sure if that's the same one, or just the example of a mirage ship, but that looks like a false horizon one rather than Fata Morgana, because like I said, false horizon ones are clearer, where the sea and the sky seem to have the same blend of blue, opposed to Fata Morgana where it uses layers of heat, cold and hot, that bends the light upwards from the surface of the sea, where the ship is just going around the bend of the globe of the earth, you know, the horizon. So that one looks to me more false horizon than Fata Morgana. So this has been the problem I have sometimes with some of the things claimed.
Was a cruise ship.
And here it is here in the harbour. Now, we saw the front of the ship. Does it match? And there's the front of the ship there. So have they got the right ship? It certainly looks all white. I can't see any black bits like in the Mirage. I can't see any lifeboats. Is that a lifeboat there? See, I would have gone one step further. I would have cut that boat out, find the other direction of it, and overlaid it. Is that lifeboats down the side? Yeah, it could be. Let's see, has it got the right angle for the same ship? Let's go back again. Does it look like the same ship? It doesn't, does it? To me, that looks more like a distorted cargo carrier. Because look at the front of the deck there. It looks like it's got what do you call it? Containers. So I don't know. The front of the ship there doesn't make sense to me. So I'm sort of questioning it still. It's definitely a ship, obviously, but have they got the right one? I don't know. Maybe there's another ship that. So it looks like another ship here on the side. So yeah, does it look like the same ship to you? See, it hasn't got the containers. Then it goes up really high, like cruise ships do. And I'm not seeing that, so I don't think. So just go back again. So it's always good to question even the conclusions. It might be really close. Okay. Does it look like it's got a super deck right close to the front? It's possible, I guess. But it could be containers again. Or it could be another cruise ship. Anyway. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yes, 4 AM. Well, I tried to start earlier, but you weren't around yesterday. I think you must have gone to bed. Being Friday. They're saying that this is... third phase was, yeah. When it first came out, and I said, no, it looks like a blimp to me. Where's my one? This is my analysis I did from their video, which is less quality. You can see there straight away. It's really faded. And to me, it looked like the black and white pattern of the blimp, right? But it just shows what you can do if you get the real video and overlay frames. So I'm just doing a correction on my one. My one wasn't a bad guess, so it's better than Third Faces was. Only joined 2 minutes ago, that's right. Bottom part looks like distorted, reflected of upper. You reckon? I don't think so. It's definitely distorted apart from that really front bit, which is really clear. But again, it could have been the angle. And of course, data compression, of course, doesn't help. Have kids staying for Easter holidays. You have the kids staying a lot, don't you? Yep, totally looks like blimp. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? When we looked at Third Phase's version. But it just shows you better quality video. You can change your conclusion to a ship. But yeah, I'm just questioning whether it's the right ship. It's definitely a ship though. And then we got Earl Grey that comes on, talking about abduction case. And I'll let you watch that, because I'm only wanted to update that first one under fair use. I don't want them to strike me or anything. Just top it up here. MUFON. Best cases. Now they only show 2 here, I think it is. But yeah, I have to check out that software that he used to see if I can improve what I do, you know. I always like open source software over paying. It may be commercial, and then that's no go. There we go. MUFON, misspelled it. There are a bunch of myths. Yeah, so apparently they got physical evidence on this one. That one's got a nasty 2 wounds on the back of him. Or maybe 3. Scoop marks. Looks painful. Anyway, minimize that. Okay. And like I said, I'm probably the only one that updates old cases with final solutions. So it just proves that I'm totally honest, and do admit that I'm not always 100% correct, but I'm certainly was more correct than the other fraud channels who were claiming it was a UFO. And I saw no UFO in it. Yeah, that sort of went through quite quick actually. I suppose we have to see if there's anything else I can talk about. So what was that, about an hour? Yeah. I had to zoom in the other screen, sorry. Unless I can't see it. Oh, I'll lift up the thing on the screen too. Open source is the best, yep. And they've got a lot of people working on it too normally, and fix the problems quicker. Although I use Minicam because at the time OBS didn't have a way to drag the cool window onto the screen and actually use your stream video out to the people that you're calling so they could see what you're doing. The only way to do that was with StreamYards that come out much later, many years later. So I haven't sort of gone away from Minicam because it has more flexibility, but OBS may have caught up finally with plugins and stuff, so I haven't bothered with it. But I know there may be some other problems, because see my cursor here, Minicam's cursor sucks. It replaces the Windows one and puts its own one. And I like my one that blinks. It makes it easy to see on the screen, regardless of what the background color is. I made that cursor. And Minicam had a bug with its DirectX on my computer at least, which allows me to use the Microsoft mouse and turn their one off. So that's why I stuck with Minicam, and I think OBS had some other issues, and it was hard for my eyes at the time to see the buttons, because it's a very dark, condensed thing, you know, how I like big fonts and stuff. I can actually get that on Minicam, and it's very easy to see what's going on. But yeah, people keep saying, change over, it'll fix your video problems, you know. But I've not really had any problems, really, have I? So, not since I did a few updates, and the video driver updates seem to fix something. And Get 5 watching need to keep going. I got 5 watching. Oh, right, yeah. Okay. How are you all doing? Hit like if you haven't. People tend to hit like, but they don't want to come on and talk. This would be perfect now for someone to come on and talk about their own experiences. You don't want to hear about all mine experiences, although mine's sort of ongoing still. Like the other night, I could have sworn I could hear talking in the background, and I thought, oh, someone in the house has turned on the TV. And I got up and had a look, and I was in the bed, and I thought, looks like the hallway light's on, because we got those infrared sensor ones. And I thought, oh, someone must be up. So I get up, go to the toilet, and it's dead to the world out there. No talking, and suddenly the talking just sort of stopped. So I'm not sure again if that's alien related or paranormal that's going on. But Mum was saying that she was hearing music playing and today in the daytime, and I said, well, it's possible because I've had some strange stuff happening. Normally you hear it in a room and you open the door and it's suddenly quiet again. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else has had experiences like that like to talk about it. Could have been mad real dream. No, it wasn't a dream because I actually went to the toilet. Hearing other getting up, yeah. But it wasn't this time. But yeah, like I said, it's a bit crazy, some of the stuff that happens to me. It's like maybe I'm a sensitive, they call it a sensitive. When people have out-of-body experiences like I did when I was a teenager and didn't understand what was going on, I've got a video on it called Mandela Effect, where I used to have dreams that used to come true and had out-of-body. The dreams come true were after the out-of-body stuff, and then other stuff sort of, I think, attracts to you in your life. Like the parents rented out the top of the house, and you attract certain people. So we had this guy stay up there. He was right into his weed, and he used to smoke lots of weed. And the parents had to seal off the emergency door because it was coming down into the house, and they didn't like the smell of it. But anyway, this guy had some mental issues, obviously, and eventually killed himself in gas in his car. And ever since, we've had paranormal activity in the house. So we rented it out to Asians and other homestays, and they said you're haunted. And the parents would laugh it off because they'd have the TV turn on and off and that sort of thing, or change channels. Like he was fed up with what they were watching. He was only a young guy, in his late 20s, I think. But he said to his mum that staying with us was the best place he's ever been. So it's like a place that he liked to be, you know. So maybe that's why he come back. But I think he follows us around. He likes us. Or he wants to communicate to us or something. But yeah, I've had cold spots where it feels like someone's standing next to your bed and stuff like that. Especially at 3 in the morning. Always that witching hour between 2 and 5 a.m. And because I'm pretty much a night owl, so I'm pretty up early morning like yourself there, Michael. I don't think they like me being up though, because they want you to go sleep so they can then sneak around and do things, I guess. But often I would be at the computer and later wake up and think, I don't remember falling asleep. It's just like lights out with a click of your finger like that. Instant light out. which I've never had in my life. Not since the strange activity I've been having. Anyway, but I'll keep documenting it and see where it leads. It might be part of my health problems too. I think they may have caused it, or causing it. You have these shows that talk about bad energy or bad entities that can drain energy from you and make you sick, and they want you dead, that sort of stuff. Especially if you listen to what's that show with the detective, New York detective guy, what's it called, Dead Files. If you ever watch that series, stuff that she describes and explains sort of fits in with my multi-universe theory of aliens and demons and entities that can pass into our world at certain hotspots on the planet. So yeah, I used to laugh at that stuff, but now having your own experiences sort of changes your mind a bit, and then you want to start listening to what other people are saying, because they may have the clues and it may lead you to the answers. If could have been made real, dream. I have had dreams I thought I got up. Yep. Not had those ones. Although as a kid, once I dreamed I was going to a tree house, and the top of the house was being built. Apparently I'd sleepwalked all the way up the stairs and climbed up this open space into this little loft area that was being built. A cupboard, was being built, and it hadn't been finished, so I could have easily killed myself. My parents woke up and directed me downwards, apparently, and I don't remember anything like that, but that's a story they told me later. I stay up late, get 4 or 5 hours sleep. Well, that's not enough really to sleep. I find sometimes all my life I needed 10 hours sleep, where everyone else needs 7 or 7.5 or whatever it is. I think it depends how much you use your brain, or how much, you get physical exhaustion and you get mental exhaustion. So if you're using your brain to code every day or suss out stuff like I was doing as a kid, you get really tired. And part of the brain relaxing is to remember stuff, for it to better store it, process what you did in the day and store it. But I have got videos up there, and I've got a playlist on members' story as well as my own stories. And, I've told people stuff, but they sort of write it off, like, night terrors, or sleep paralysis, the typical one. What's the other one? You're overtired and you're just imagining it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, do you imagine being in pain though? The first encounter with the Greys is they're sticking a needle in my back and I was in extreme pain, worse than I've ever had. And the next day I had zero pain for a whole week, which is really strange. At the moment I've got super pain in my lower back again, so I'm not sure what's going on. But where they injected, I had this lump come up. Doctor said it was like a skin cyst, and I said no, it feels deeper. And it kept leaking this fluid from my back for 4 weeks. I said that don't sound normal. But anyway, once it went down, the back pain vanished again. But now maybe it's grown back. I need to get someone in the house to check it, I suppose, because I can't see. It might be growing back. It might be, like these cysts with fat in them that keep growing and then reducing again. A bit like the dog has. But yeah, playlists. So you go to my playlists, you should be able to find it. And also if you're on Discord, you can find the playlist already posted there. So normally go to the best playlists, and they're normally here. Members, fans, live guests talk their own UFO. So we need some more people to do that. And Paul own experiences is the next one there. So I talk about more my paranormal activity and more recent alien activity. But it fits very well with some of the stuff that Dead Files has shown in the recent years on some of the episodes at some locations. Where people have explained, talked about the same sort of stuff. And ill health, of course. So it's kind of a bit scary. Suppose I could copy and paste them. And you can go from there. Do you want to try and come on, Mike? Or are you just trying to be quiet in your household there? I know what it's like at night time. Do you want to talk on voice at all? It's quite easy. You just have to click on a link and give access to your microphone and you're in. I'll just post a link to it anyway. I'll just bring it up just in case someone wants to join in. It should show desktop in the corner, yep. And I'll just give you a link to it. You can actually even call your mobile phone number. I think they got a UK number actually. Just paste it there. Anyone that wants to join on, we can have multiple people on. Just like StreamYard. Can't just now, but in living room and boys sleeping. Well, too bad. I do try to get people to open up or talk about this stuff. Even to complain about their interest in ufology and the crap that's out there. And you can have a rant if you want. So, just skim over some stuff to see if anything's come out. Meantime, UFO interest. What do we got? That's new there. UFO crash, weapons test, nope. Contract sunrise. Okay, this one, yeah. Look at this silly one. You know, it looks like they're saying it's a UFO crash, but you can see their contrails. Dark contrails, normally evening or early morning. And you can't see the plane because it's going to be a few pixels in front of that. In fact, I think you could probably just see. No. So he's saying no, it's definitely a contrail. And there's another good one. Passing over the Alps where it looks like it's coming straight down. You know, a bit like those volcano videos that the fraud channel Third Face keeps pushing with the fraud Jamie Masson. It's actually horizon in the sky and it looks like it's coming down. So that's false illusion. A false horizon, whatever you want to call it. And here he is. He actually finds the plane and the location. So you spend a bit of time on that. Normally I don't like to do that online because it takes a lot of time, as you know, in past live shows. Got on to 5 hours or 8 hours or whatever. Normally you do that offline and make it into a 10-minute episode or like this here. And just put up your final result, right? Someone has to do the hard work to verify the stuff and the fraud channels don't. Because they don't want to debunk it. do they? They want to make money from it. And what have we got here? I think we looked at that one last time, did we? So we got the Melbourne planes that called out third phase again because they're too lazy to do a quick search. Yeah, what's that one?
El siguiente video podría tratarse de una de las...
That's CGI there. Yeah, we did look at that one last time. We're just from Jamie Masson again. And as I pointed out, could be birds, and then I said, and it could be CGI, and then I narrowed it down to CGI myself. Okay, so only contrails are new overnight there. Nocturnal News, I think he's put out some garbage, so I'll just go over his one. People just love what he does, and I can see why. Feeds into their world view, right?
Okay, today we're just going to kind of
that's pretty loud. Let's see. I have to turn it down a wee bit. There we go. You can read the comments here. This right here, folks, is one of the most influential, straight up childless and legitimate YouTuber. I'd say no, he's no better than Tyler and all the other fraud channels. This is extremely important. The continuous silence. Nocturnal News, it has been nice to see the progress in these areas. And so on. And Troll Patrol's a really nasty person, to me anyway. And sucks us to this guy here. Great video, but it was fun seeing some of the old clips. Okay, so let's just play the video and I'll just break it down. He doesn't like being on camera because he's quite chubby, I think. But aren't we all, especially with lockdown?
react to a video that I made for you guys a few days ago. I was going to play the video as is, but I thought I would talk over it and you know, give you my opinion on what we're looking at. So SpaceX 2018 right here, this anomaly, you know, like always, you know, we hear could be ground lights, could be an island, right? Could be anything, but it's clearly a UFO.
Okay, there's one thing he didn't mention there, squid boat lights. And that looks like boats on the sea, doesn't it? But you got to remember, they're filming through 4 panes of glass that are an inch thick. In case meteorite impacts or some impact happens, you're going to lose all your cabin pressure if the windows blow out. But again, it's zoomed in, it's really cropped, so the far away shot with the map whereabouts it is on Google Earth makes a hell of a difference, alright? So it's kind of misleading.
Getting a great view of the Dragon capsule at nighttime as the International Space Station and Dragon fly 263 statute miles.
You heard him say passing over South America. Now at this point, there was nothing below the ISS 2018.
They were passing over South America, so that's where we've often heard about where they got islands there of masses of fishing boats. Okay, so again, it's misleading.
The Dragon capsule was going to connect to the Canada arm, and you know, we captured this UFO.
Okay, that UFO is just a bunch of city lights. clear as day. On the coastline. Actually, was it the coastline? It was near Brazil anyway. It's either the island or Brazil.
Extraterrestrial life for life in this universe.
Oh, okay.
First of all, we're looking for life right now.
Okay, let me hit pause.
That's why we have a probe on Mars.
Okay, you heard Bill Nelson say, again, the highest ranking member at NASA, we're looking for life right now. He said, now, Larry, what do you think we're doing?
But doesn't most people on the planet Earth now believe we're not alone? Some don't care, as long as they get their soaps or whatever, reality TV. Like my mum, she doesn't care what the universe is or what life is. But some of us do. We want the answers. Because it certainly makes no sense that we would be the only person alive in this big, huge universe. And what's the point of it all? So yeah. We're being used like guinea pigs, which is possible. That's why they don't mind you having kids. So they've always got ongoing supply where they can come down and abduct people or do experiments on you. Yeah, your mum. Normally if you said, oh look, there's a UFO in the sky, you get, shut up, I'm trying to listen to Cairo Street. And you get really nasty too if you talk over the dialogue, and I thought, that's just all made up crap. How can you listen to that? You know, where's a good sci-fi? Something drives your imagination. And females like to watch drama that's relative to their own sort of experiences, don't they? Females, it's really rare to find a female that likes sci-fi. Well, at least I do in New Zealand. As soon as you mention that you're into UFOs or ghosts, especially on date sites, they go unsub or unmatch. It's quite fun, dating sites like that. You can see the bias, the thinking, right? They're really driven by TikTok and all their social media friends and all the nonsense that's being broadcast on TV and the wokeness that's going on now. Everyone's got to be into gay pride and, you know, all that now. Gay pride, what's all the other stuff? Black lives and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's bad enough trying to worry about our own life rather than other people's at this stage. And money situation and all that.
Up there, you know, you gotta love them Texas boys.
Larry, before we leave, I hadn't even talked about the search for extraterrestrial life.
I'm from Texas, so I'm not hating. But then
yeah, let's skip on a bit.
On this photograph they wanted to get rid of. After that,
so this girl here, James Oberg is trash talked to her a bit. He said that she was a wee bit of a weed head, but I think what she saw really happened. But I think she was actually pranked. If you worked for NASA, airbrushing glitches out on the glass slides that are scanned in and all that sort of stuff, and you got a greenhorn, a newbie that you're going to train up, and you sort of say, oh yeah, we're just airbrushing out the UFOs and aliens and the monoliths and the moon bases, and try not to laugh and see if they actually believe it all, right? So yeah, but there's no guarantee that there might be one or two stuff there that they airbrushed off that may be legit though. But with all the stuff that's going up on the moon lately now, we've still not heard anything from the Chinese saying America can cover this up. Nothing like that's come out. The last thing was the square looking building on the horizon. So when they got there, they found it was a square-looking rock. You know, that sort of stuff. Yeah, try not to swear, Mike. I'm trying to keep it PG here, but you can misspell it with a hash or something. F online dating. Bad idea. Yeah, I've met a lot of people from online dating sites, even if it ends up being a single date and whatnot. But that was before it got really bad. Back in the early 90s, it was quite good. Public rooms and all that. And then it sort of got taken over by pedos and crazy, strange people. Then that's sort of where it went downhill. And then the date sites come along. And unfortunately, there's not enough good people on there, and there's a lot of scammers on there still. But it can be a lot of fun just having to play around with some of them because they're fairly obvious, right? I had this one African guy, right? I knew it was obviously a scammer. He was pretending to be a white woman. I said, you don't talk like someone that's from New Zealand. I think you're an African scammer, aren't you? And they kept saying, no. And then he did something which caught himself out. And I said, there you go. I got you now. And then he flipped on the camera, and there he was, laughing his head off on the camera. These guys are pretty bad, and the banks love them. They claim they can't stop them, but they do scam a lot of money out of people. And in the tune of like $500 to $1 billion every year, isn't it? So anyway, just carry on back with the UFO topic rather than my dating life. So this woman, I can't remember what her name was. O'Hare, no. Anyway, she's been on the disclosure thing that Greer put up, and I was always a wee bit interested in what she had to say, but then I was a wee bit skeptical as well. Could they have been messing around or using her to promote disinformation? For what reason though? So yeah, and all these images are grainy and blurry, especially back from even up to STS level cameras. They're still pretty bad. It's only now that we're in the International Space Station the cameras are actually quite good and beyond, right? But back then they're crap, especially with the distance. So blurry stuff is typical of UFO nonsense.
I decided I would ask questions to other people that work there, and I found that I had to ask them away from the site and not on site. A guard told me that he was asked to burn some photographs and not to look at them. And there was another guard guarding him, who was in green
Okay,
fatigues.
she's talking about how a guard was asked to burn photographs, okay, in green fatigues, was guarding the guard, right? Because NASA knew the dark side of the moon. They had UFOs. They had, possible...
So I find that a wee bit strange because most of the photographs are on glass slides because they didn't suffer radiation as bad. Or they're processed inside the orbiters that use negative film, and then it had some sort of scanning system where it transmitted it by radio down to Earth. And there's all sorts of things that went wrong. But to print it out on instant film, they tried that with the Babel. The Babel Tower was one of these instant film ones they tried to do it on the moon. Found that they would pull the ink and create these little blobs, which looked like what you're seeing in those the castle and the Mulhigh monolith and all those other strange ones. It was because they were trying to experiment around with different cameras and In the early days, they had it mounted on their chests, you know, the cameras. They're quite huge and chunky and used glass slides. So obviously they wanted to improve that since 1969. So yeah, a lot of these images are still floating around, right? The glass slides are equivalent to 4K nowadays, so you can rescan them in. But the problem is, they try to do that. Occasionally you get a immersion pill, where it's coming off the glass, and you got tears that drop on from the head. You also got hairs from the duster they used, and all this sort of stuff, and it would create scratches as well. And they look like strange things, right? Like cigar UFOs and stuff. Involved with Rockefeller. Don't know. I know Hillary Clinton was, but it's possible. Anyway, let's carry on with this one.
You know, a past civilization, kind of like on Mars, you know, so, I mean, this is incredible, you know, and it took me a while to find this. I know a lot of you out there have already heard of this, but I think it's important to document these things, to kind of go over them and talk about them, and doesn't it pisses me off, doesn't it piss you off that NASA continues to hide the truth from you, from me?
I haven't seen that. All the claims that made, I've always looked into it and followed as much information I could, like the SDS 48 video that I did, and it lined up perfectly with them firing the rockets and the byproducts of water and ice being formed. So NASA's not lying. And I found out that ice, when radiation hits, it can actually move because it evaporates it and creates a little thruster. And it can move at right angles, and it can even stop. It can slow down in solar winds. And so all these ones saying, oh, if it moves at right angles, it has to be a UFO. No, it doesn't. It could be something close to the camera. It looks like it's moving, and it's actually the sun's heating up ice particle. So yeah, you got to always be critical thinking and keep looking at the science of this sort of stuff. And now these guys don't do this. They want it to be UFOs. If that's the case, I think there'd be a lot more coming out from Russia, China at the moment, because they're up there quite a bit as well. And that's not happening. I think if aliens had set up a deal a long time ago with Americans, one of them would be not to go to follow a flight plan that where they'll never be noticed. You know, that would probably be flight plan that some military organization that we don't know about gives it out. You know, says always follow this flight path, then the spy satellites won't see you, blah blah blah. Plus, they would have cloaking. I'm pretty sure cloaking is a real thing, because we're on the verge of perfecting that ourselves. We've already got camouflage tanks and jeeps, or you can turn a tank that looks into a jeep on a thermal imaging and make it sort of blend in with the background even, and same with uniforms now on army troops. And we looked at that years ago, and another few years past, they're always going to make improvements, and technology is going to get better, more nanoscale, more brighter LEDs, and all that sort of stuff that can transmit all the different frequencies that you need to replicate the image behind the person in front. So, yeah.
You know, for generations, really, your grandparents.
Now, I'm not saying that UFOs and aliens don't exist, of course. I'm saying that they're smart. They're smarter than us, or they've got the higher technology than us. And they don't have to come through space. They can just simply, as I said, they've come in through multiverse portal. So they can just pop over your house just by opening a portal and just hover in there. people around the neighborhood won't see it because they use what I call anti-light, which negates normal light, and you see nothing there, if that makes any sense to you. It's like anti-sound, where you can actually nullify sound coming from a house, from a construction yard. You can actually get speakers that nullify the sound and make it almost disappear. Same you can do with light, I reckon. Or they've managed to find some way of inverting it anyway.
It's probably your kids. You know, we talk about disclosure. Remember the what was it? The Pentagon's going to release, or the government's going to release everything they know about UFOs, and what happened? It was a joke. It was like a 9-page report.
Yeah, it was a bit of a joke, but
nothing. It was a slap in the face.
I don't think people have given up on that yet. The pilots might be rebelling, or someone's going to rebel. There's going to be maybe it needs to be opened up, and it's going to take a few brave people that's going to break the NDAs to do it, probably. We'll have to see what happens in the next few years. But yeah, I think Lou was part of that movement. The one thing he's done is he actually brought more attention to it, and more public TV attention to it, even though they keep playing those fake videos on cable news. Doesn't matter what channel we're talking about, they all play the same crap, contrails and all that sort of stuff, right? Which breaks our hearts, of course. Would be good if they didn't do that. Even if they're just the emanations of what the stories were, you know, would be a lot better. You know, the witnesses, even though there was no video over nuclear bases, they could do an emanation of that in the background, be a lot better than what they currently put up on news channels.
To the UFO community. Now, this video right here, or this little segment here,
when's my aliens?
I made a video about this. We're going to zoom in, and you'll see this moon base on a photo sitting on the desk of a NASA employee.
Like I said, you can call in, guys, if you want to talk.
But it's important that we go over this stuff. We
the links on the screen go upwards.
Watching him burn the photographs, and he said he was too tempted. He looked at one, and it was a picture of a
Okay, here's another one that the frauds keep using. Apparently, it's a photograph of a target landing site underneath his arm, and they keep saying it's an alien building. He seemed past that pretty quick, though.
He was very descriptive. I can go into that later with anyone. He immediately was...
Okay, I think that was the target area that they set up for a test, because they're going to land the people there.
Okay, and now I'm just going to let it play. We'll hear from the next NASA whistleblower that worked as basically a repairman back in the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay, this is the other guy. His story sounds very credible, but again, he may have been pranked, or he may have been tested. So if you want to trust someone, see if he actually starts talking about it later. Or, you know, how would you trust someone that you want to bring into your program that they won't go home and start spilling the beans, right? So a good way would be to give them some fake information and see what they do with it. But like Bob Lazar. Maybe Bob Lazar was going to be showing the real stuff, and then instead of making it all up like he has done. It's a possibility. He may have been given that manual, like you said, and it may have been all just made up stuff, right? And they want to see if any of it sort of leaked out to anybody that he knew before they brought him into the real picture. Okay, forget about that folder. That was just a test. This is the real stuff now. That's how I always thought of Bob Lazar. Maybe there was a hint of truth there, but maybe they were using them either for disinformation, but also maybe they were testing them. But then this thing about the qualification stuff doesn't sort of add up, right? when you go to university, you normally get lots of you photocopy your certificate. Normally there's records everywhere, and there's yearbooks and all that, and he's not in any of them. So that doesn't all add up. So to me, he sounds like someone that got caught out of breaking NDA and he didn't want to go to prison, so he went to the news channels to make it this big story, to make it really, really complex. If they did arrest him, then they'd have more people wanted to get to Area 51 to see what's going on, spy on it, which they don't want to happen. So you can see why the government would try to ignore it rather than try and silence him after that point.
I was loaned to the Lunar Orbiter Project at NASA on Langley Field. Dr. Colley was in charge of that project. They had problems with a piece of electronic equipment that was bottlenecking their production of photographs. I went to the facility, and when I walked into the facility, there were scientists from all over the world. I was stunned actually to see people at a NASA project from all over the world. It didn't make any sense to me initially. I was taken into the laboratory where the equipment was malfunctioning. I couldn't repair it in the dark. I asked to have it removed. A airman second class was in the dark room at that time. I was also an airman second class. I was interested.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. Now, this.
So it doesn't sound like that guy, airman second class, doesn't sound like he had really high security clearance to me. So a wee bit suspect there, if they let someone see photographs of alien bases while they're repairing something. No, they could have made up some story. So that it was actually a manufactured photograph showing where they may build buildings or something like that.
Photo. Okay, again, I've gone over this on the channel twice. I think this will be the third time. It's never been debunked. We don't know where it came from. I believe it's 100% real. You see the tube coming out there. It looks like some type of alien moon base. Now, you can go all the way back to the Soviet Union.
That tube thing, I'm pretty sure it's been debunked because I got some new images of it and it doesn't look like a tube from different angles. It's just pareidolia again and light shadow play. But he hasn't put up the image, so I can't really relate to it.
What is it, mid-60s, early 70s? They're talking about building a base on the moon. Now we have the Artemis project, and they're doing the same thing. I think we already have bases on the moon, and I think this could be a real photo.
So he's really, this is really shouldn't be, what do you call it, bias. You're already a bias objective. He thinks there's moon bases, rather than keeping to the middle and just following the facts like I tried to do. He's already saying there's definitely moon bases there, but there's no evidence. So you got to be, what is that called? Something a bias. What's the technical word I was looking for there? Observer bias? No, something's different like that. It's something like that anyway. I think Mick West has used it. You got to be careful of the bias. You always got to keep focused in the middle and follow the facts, and always keep a list of possibilities and always move the best option to the top of the list, which it makes sense. That way you don't get caught out. So who's to say that these people, maybe NASA did a mock thing of where they're thinking about doing a base on near a crater, and someone said, oh yeah, that's an alien base, right? Technically it is an alien because it's off-world. And they may have just got the wrong story, right?
Now, forget about the photo. The testimony, I believe him 100%. 100%. I believe this man is telling the
See,
truth.
you can actually believe these people, but they may have just been misled, or so yeah, you know, you're not going to call them liars. You're going to say, well, maybe you're mistaken, or maybe you misunderstood. Like I said, there's enough stuff up there now with different orbiters from different countries now, and there's going to be a lot more going up soon. And the universities are meant to be funding a robot project where, and we also got a lot of new rocket companies coming online, even one in New Zealand. So they might be sending up little rovers where there might be public domain. You can just drive around the moon. But America wants to fence off where their landing pads are, so it sort of preserves it historically, which makes sense. You don't want people walking over all your footprints and stuff that's historic there.
Let's continue.
Whole process functioned, how the data got from the lunar orbiter to the laboratory. Asked the young man if he described the process to me. He did. About 30 minutes into the process, he said to me,
so this
very
meant to be
distressed way,
a building, is it? See, they're seeing these little square things, but we know that happens with all the stitching errors and stuff, because they don't take a picture like they do on the smartphone, right? It's done in big chunks, and some of them end up with missing colour information and end up being black when it shouldn't be, and it looks like a shadow. So look, you can see here, kind of looks like a building, right? But that's silly because it's probably been messed around with on the editor and stuff. If you go there on new high-res images, it's probably nothing like that.
by the way, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon.
So I don't know why he focused down here when that building looked like the more credible thing. But we do know that volcanic rock and meteorite rock is very brittle, glass-like. And when it shatters, it actually creates 90-degree angles and straight sides. And you can find the places on Earth just like that. It may not be a full square, of course, but you might get 3 sides or 2 sides. I've shown it in past live streams too.
And then he proceeded to put photographs down in front of me, and clearly in these photographs
Look how blurry that
structures, mushroom-shaped buildings, spherical buildings.
Bases on the
towers.
backside of the moon.
And at that point, I was very concerned because I knew we were working on compartmentalized security. He had breached security, and I was actually frightened at that moment.
Now, I'm pretty sure the Chinese would have been on the backside of the moon, right? Right now. So what's the story there? Did they demo all the buildings there before the Chinese went? Or the Chinese also part of the cover-up, you know? So you can see how the conspiracies is always going to be, oh, it's a cover-up, and people are always going to believe there's going to be buildings on there. So it'll be interesting once SpaceX and space tourism takes off. And there'll be millions of people every year trampling over the moon.
Did not question him any further. And a few moments later, someone did come into the room. I worked there for 3 more days.
We got a question on the site here. How's it going, Skywatch? Richard Hoagland stuff, old stuff. I actually have 2 or 3 of the movies. Okay. VHS, wonder if you can post them. No, you can't. Copyright. But, yeah. He's been called out also. Mike Barra have created a pyramid shape on the moon when there was one not there. When you look at the original pictures and also newer HD pictures of the area, and it's just like shadow play again, but like this stuff here. Would really everybody keeps secret about moon bases, though. All those astronauts that have been up there, surely one or two would finally break their silence. Now, it's possible that UFO were monitoring them to see what they're up to. So what we don't want is really the humans go up there to start mining it, really, because you don't know what impact it's going to have on the mass and the damage, right? They don't want to go up there and mine it for helium-3, isn't it? Which they can use for fusion reactors of the future. Somehow I think if they're going to take stuff away from the moon, they should be adding to the moon as well. Should be like a balance thing. So maybe they should be piling meteorite rocks, crushing them up. So if they're going to take, if they are going to mine it, then they've got to be really careful about it, I reckon. But we probably won't be alive to know that. But they reckon that fusion power is just around the corner, like 5 years now. And I know they've been saying 25 and 30 years, but I think we're getting up to that point where they're getting closer to making it reality. It may not be as good as what they hoped, but they're getting there. So a mini sun inside, heating up water and making turbines. When Art Bell was hyping the face on the moon. Yeah, and when you saw the HD video, it's just like a mound with a couple of dark ridge lines. It's a bit like what I was showing with the pareidolia at the beginning of the show. You missed the front of the show. You can roll it back and have a watch when you get a chance. Have you seen the movie Skyfall? Yeah, I thought it was a wee bit childish, and that chubby guy was really annoying, I found. Is that the one? Oh, Meanful, we were meaning. Meanful or Meanful, yeah. Skyfall. Skyfall is James Bond, isn't it? Similar names. Yeah, I didn't really like it. I found the Silent Sea better, which is Asian based. It's meant to be Earth in the future after climate change, and the seas and all that evaporate. Maybe because the sun is changing. If the sun changes, it's possible. But I don't think humans alone could make water totally disappear. But anyway, yeah, the moon one's about trying to get the water from the moon to Earth. Because they reckon that the meteorites impact on the moon over millions of years, and inside the moon might actually be a sea, sea of water. Yeah, it's quite a good movie. It's like 10 parts or 8 parts, so go and check it out if you've not seen it. I think it's called The Silent Sea. Anyway, just carry on here. By the way, if you want to chat, I've got the chat window up. Not sure if it's still on the board or not, but if you scroll up, you can find the free-for-all link if you want to come on and talk. As long as you're not crazy. I'll just post the link again anyway. It is my lazy Sunday, and what's the time at the moment? I've got another hour probably I could go to. I haven't really got much to talk about. Just breaking down some videos, that's all. You can see they're trying to con people on their channel. Just click on that link and give it permission to your microphone and turn off your video, and you should be good to go. You know, you don't have to, but make sure you mute YouTube if you do, and because you'll get the direct link from me, which is not delayed like it is on YouTube. We're like 30 seconds ahead here, and you're 30 seconds behind, or whatever. If you want to go and talk about your experiences, there's the opportunity. I'm not set up, but if you join, you're some other time. Everybody keeps saying that and they never do. No one joins me. Not sure why. But we'll see, I guess.
Days, and I remember going home and naively thinking, I can't wait to hear about this on the evening news. And here it is, more than 30 years later, and I hope we hear about it tonight. And I will testify under oath before Congress.
So I think the guy actually did see something, but who knows what it was, you know. So there are credible people out there, but there's also ones that like to get attention, fake stuff, and there's plenty of people out there at the moment doing that, which takes away from serious research, of course.
Okay, let me hit pause. Again, another NASA whistleblower. And I know a lot of you out there are familiar with this case, but there's a lot of new people, you know, to the UFO topic, and it's very important that we document these things.
Yeah, okay, so it's just saying, let's see what I'm saying.
I was going to say another name, I'll save it for later, because we are working on it's completed, a really cool project that we've been working on. It'll be out in a month or a month and a half. I'm very excited about that. I can't really...
Okay, so he's into making a movie with someone. It's a good way to build up your YouTube channel, I guess, but also to make some money on the side. The average UFO documentary apparently doesn't sell that many. Depending how good it is, it could get up to a maximum of 300,000 worldwide, I think, over many years. So that's an income, and you might get checks coming in all the time, you know, from Amazon or whatever, iTunes and whatever you put it with. But yeah, I think the average for movies, I think someone said it was 100,000 for a UFO documentary. So if you sell it for $10, you could make $1 million of a UFO documentary if it's really good. And you know, third phase are trying to get a lot of more credible people to join them, to interview them, and offer them money from it and their cut out of it, and promote their stuff on it as well from the offshoot. Blah blah blah. You know, you got Greer, you got Jim Goodall that's trying to promote his stuff. Who else? They even had Dolan on one stage, didn't they? Maybe not. Maybe I got the wrong one. But I know they've had a few people on. You know, they got Michael Schratz also trying to build up his channel. It's a shame that you have to use 4 channels to do that. It'd be good if some of the more legit channels out there would help share some of their members. But everybody wants the money from their members, right? So they're not going to share the members. They're not going to recommend, oh, go and join this channel. He does something different to what I do, and you should actually watch it because you can actually learn a lot from him. You know, why can't he do that? You know, we've got radio podcasts that could also promote some of the decent channels out there. They never do because they're scammy themselves. Coast to coast, you know, and you got Dave Scott and all that sort of stuff, you know, that's meant to be broadcast on real radio.
We talked about it, so anyway, we'll continue.
That what I'm saying is the truth.
And so here is a clip he put together of...
Oh no, so now he's promoting his cousin Tyler. And so we ended there, I guess.
His channel, and yeah, he's basically just doing the same thing I am. We're all looking for
So there you go. That's a bad reputation there. If he's doing exactly the same as Tyler, then his channel's garbage. Okay. Bingo. Busted. Tyler is not a researcher, and he's trying to claim he is. Tracy is his name. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much run out of stuff now. And I got that annoying tickle. I suppose some of you want to get to bed though. Just skim. I think security team hasn't put out anything new, but you never know. So he put this one out here about the 1,500 documents that got released about aliens doing harm.
Okay.
So he put some funny clips in to try and keep the attention span going, I suppose, because it is pretty a lot of paperwork and redacted documents and all that sort of stuff, which would be boring to the average Tyler fan, I think.
Do a video on. I know a lot of you have probably seen it, but a few months.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, you know, to keeping attention spans.
Pentagon report claims, and of course, a lot of people.
So yeah, this one I'm not sure if he's added any fake news into it. Normally I scan to see, but a lot of the stuff is from Daily Mail and all that, which is kind of dodgy to speak with. But that's because they got it from Black Vault. It would be better to go to Black Vault, and he's probably got links to all the documents because he's probably got copies of them stored on his server. So these are some of the paperwork that the newspapers have been putting up. Implants, itching, loss of taste, loss of hearing. That almost sounds like C19 Vex side effects. Ringing in the ears, breathing problems. It does sound like all the current problems that people are having that claiming to have long COVID, as they call it, fatigue and all that sort of stuff.
Experiences and people such things as burns, heart problems, sleep disturbances, heat, and.
Now we've done a few things over the years with Robert talking about when UFOs attack. Well worth checking out. I didn't actually search it out the other day, but let's give it a try, and I'll post a link to it. That was talking about the famous case down in South America where beams of light would burn people, and there's a wee bit something suspicious about that whole case, where it could have been military experiment gone wrong and they tried to cover it up. But yeah, go and check it out. Where's the keyboard thing? Is that the one? Yep. Here we go. Fun with this thing going. Attack. Keyword. Search. Okay, see what we got. Kiwi attacking. Let's see. Attack of the culty drones. That's probably me having a go at Tyler or Third Phase. Third Phase attack everybody. Floor addresses lies from MUFON. Oh, MUFON attack. Okay. Sunday. Life cases with Robert. Tragic accident or UFO attack. I can't remember that one, but we'll copy the link to it. So we have actually covered a lot of things where UFO interaction hasn't been really good. Cases out there. Let's see. When paranormal attacks. Security update Sky people. Now that was another good episode I did. I think I talk about the entity that attacked me as well on that one. I'm going to check that one out too. I suppose if you're new to the channel, you may not have seen these ones. Robert Nuke Air Force Base UFOs military attacked in Brazil. Okay, that might be one of them. I'll just paste that one with attack. Not sure if it's going. Got some problem again where it loses the keyboard focus. It's not working. Now it is crazy. Nope, that's R key. God, I hate that. I can't wait for my keyboard to arrive. New one. Paste. Don't think that was the one though. Let's keep on going. Bender C5 New Zealand cases. The Bender case is really good. If you don't know who Bender is, you need to watch that one. Bender. This is where the first person claimed to talk to aliens, but didn't do it in his head, which makes it a bit more credible. He did it with radio wave, modification of a radio, which we've seen now on TV shows of ghost boxes. Where it's going and it's changing automatically station frequencies, or gradually going up all the time, and yet the voice appears across all those frequencies, which shouldn't happen. A lot of people say, oh, they're just frigging it, so it's playing a voice on one of the frequencies that they got someone with a CB on. I don't think that's the case. I think it would have been well and truly exposed by now if that was the case. Skywalker Ranch microwaves mystery. Now this is talking about microwaves and Skinwalker Ranch microwaves. Also another good one. That's about Goof on Movie, about all the attacks he does on me and other people. Sunday Cases Robert, the Shag Humber incident. Not that one. It's just so much we've done, eh? Done more than any other UFO channel. If you wanted to watch all my presentations, and especially with Robert, I think there's about 100 episodes with him. It would take 3 years non-stop watching. Yet we're the least noticed UFO channel. And that's thanks to Google. Let's see, there must be some more ones here that are worth watching. Aussie UFO nests. That was quite an interesting one. About crop circles forming in lakes of all things. Hey Jasper, you finally made it. How's it going? It's good to see so many familiar faces finally able to show up. It looks like Sunday is the day I should do it for everybody. You must be up really early or up very late. So there you go. Here we go. Is that the one? Oh, Let me just go back. I accidentally clicked it, didn't I? And there's another good one. There's also the one on the Russian incident, the one with the hikers that got killed on the mountain. We did a really good episode on that if you've not seen it. Daytoff incident. How do you say that? We're at Shag Harbour. Aussie Ness. Decay of Ufology, Secure Team, Dream Team, Mollusk in Antarctica. That was the German base they had set up down there. Third phase was saying it was monoliths when it was actually cargo containers. If you want to laugh, have a look at that one. Paul exposes them. So easy though, they're so easy. And yet people just love it. They believe what they tell them, a lot of people. Which is a bit of a shame, really. Night Crawlers, another good one I did. Debunking it. Let's see. Security confesses to frauds. Another one that probably not many people have watched. Let's have a look. 368 so far. Not enough.
Welcome to...
where was it?
4 Lions Ground. The guy who was...
Just take the protests.
Oh, here it was. This one always cracks me up.
You know, not following up properly on his fake videos, right? You know, he's not really apologized for all the fakes that he fucking purposely and, you know, single-handedly executed, right? No, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to apologize for not following up, for not, you know, double-checking and coming back and telling you guys that they were fake. Oh, shoot.
And that I'm going to be working on that diligently in the future to make Secure Team the best channel that it can be so that other UFO research channels can look at what I'm doing and say, hey, okay, you know, take a cue from Tyler, do it the right way.
Yeah.
Don't fast-ass it.
Geekcraft is really funny guy.
Jaronism?
I apologize to you guys. Hope you
Oh
have
yeah,
my back.
I know
Give me a second
Jaronism well.
chance. And
He's been on this channel before. We've done Jaron before. Yeah. You guys want me to do Jaronism? I'll do Jaronism.
Thanks, Ground, for giving me a chance to post this video for you guys. So, with that, thank you again, and stay safe.
He sure did, Patrick, and with his goddamn app, his Flat Earth app that tells you a sun in a 24-hour clock that shows you, you know, where the sun should be if you lived on a...
We missed it all though. It is funny though. I love listening to this one. It's really funny. He stuffs up the sound to start with though.
Let's just get it right.
I've tried to amp it up too.
Well, I fall over drunk on the sidewalk, right? Those police officers were being all kinds of kind that you could possibly be. So this guy is a sniveling little fucking liar that besmirches the reputation of officers who were literally bending over backwards to help him.
On into the future, that I will be much more critical of the things I post, critical of the things
Looks like
that
we missed the beginning of it again.
And in doing so, great investigator. And so basically from this point on, I know a lot of you guys have ill will towards me or some sort of perception of me. And what I'm saying is that I hope I can earn your trust back.
Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking junkie. No, I'm never gonna trust you again.
I'm not a perfect person.
Okay, let me just reset here. I'm not sure if it's clicking. I thought I heard some.
No, it was just CPU peaking, I think.
So, is that better? Let's see.
You know, I've posted, in my opinion, some great videos.
Sounds better already.
Yeah, great videos, as in, like, you take a picture of a cloud and then say it's a UFO opening a portal into our realm, into our dimension, from another dimension, like another dimension, as in it's a place you can go, as it instead of a direction you can travel.
I've also posted videos where I just posted to post, you know, not really caring whether they were real or not. But from now
Bingo.
on, you know, I really want to work to be the best UFO researcher there is, because there is one.
He's never researched in his life.
I can have your guys back on my team with the help of Heathcliff. That would mean the world to me.
Yeah.
And I promise going on.
He's definitely in a hotel. I mean, after his wife, like, threw him out for, like, beating her up and shit and cheating on her and all that shit, which, you know, is fine if that's what you want to do. But then to come on the air and lie and say you were set up and beat up by the police officers and then when we saw in the arrest video, right, they were helping him to not fall over drunk on the sidewalk, right? Those police officers were being all kinds of kind that you could possibly be. So this guy is a sniveling little fucking liar that besmirches the reputation of officers who were literally bending over backwards to help him.
On into the future, that I will be.
Yeah, we heard the rest of it there. It's hilarious, isn't it? But there was another bit where he admits that he was purposely taking CGI. Let's see, was it just before then?
To Geekcraft. He's got a few
Yeah, he stuffs up the sound to start
Threw
with.
him out for, like, beating her up and shit and cheating on her. Shit.
I hate this.
Like another dimension
I hate this cursor thing. It's
Guys
so
today that
sensitive.
I am personally going to work on looking at video, claim, you know, once I find out that it is a hoax.
I swear, guys. No, he doesn't even promise not to put up any fakes anymore. Wait.
Yeah, I'll just go back a little bit. This is important. Because I know I'll probably have some haters get me on this episode now.
Get it right.
I think it's just slightly before.
With the words.
Here we go.
So, yeah. In real time sort of thing, which is kind of clever. Does that mean it's going to put out all those ones on the news channel? Or they have them in the corner now on the news channels?
He admits that he used CGI. He knew it was CGI. Now, why isn't this not on TV news? You know, Fox News. So, like Tyler Cotton, #1 source of UFO news, has admitted that he's a fake, and he uses CGIs. You know, why hasn't that made the news? You know, when George Knapp, why doesn't he put it up? You know, he's part of the news team. iNews. Be careful of YouTube channels. They're not honest, and here's why. You know, why has that never happened? Because they're scared of being sued, you know, because you know, he's confessed. Can you be sued because he's confessed that he's a fraud in ufology?
No, don't worry, guys, because he's about to get what he deserves. Whoa.
He always cracks me up with his laugh, this guy. Is that loud enough, though? We might have to amp it up a wee bit.
No, it's alright, Paul.
Right.
Anyway.
Hey, watch this, guys. You're going to love this.
I think he stuffs it up to start with.
Yeah, but we can't scroll past it because this stupid scroll thing on Google there is just too sensitive.
Why does that one come up? Need that one.
So even Geek had problems with the audio.
So, like, I swear, guys, No, he doesn't even promise not to put up any fakes anymore. Wait, guys. Wait till you see. Wait till you fucking see what this guy, right? What this fucking guy is trying to fucking pull off, guys. Wait till you see this.
He hasn't realised. He repeats it in the game, but still. Sticks. I mean, Geekcraft. Commentary is quite funny.
Oh my god, look at how perfectly the sign language lady goes with what he's saying. Hold up.
What, does he do an asshole symbol?
Well, does she do an asshole symbol?
There you go. I repeat the same thing.
Is that an asshole? I don't know. Liar.
I'm not
asshole.
the analyst in the world. I want you guys to know, the viewers of
There we go,
Lions
he's
Ground,
finally
that
fixed
I
it
am
up.
in talks with Lions Ground, because at the end of the day, we want to make this search for UFOs and aliens and this community better. Okay, we want to think more critically, and that is what I want to tell you guys today that I am personally going to work on. Looking at videos more critically, not just posting things that look like hoaxes, but just to post them anyway, which I've done in the past. But instead, maybe post.
Did he just admit that he posted hoaxes?
Something,
Yep.
and if
Let's
it
rewind
comes
that.
He
back to
did.
looking at videos more critically, not tell you guys
Yep.
today that I
He admitted
personally
that he
going to
posted
work
Now,
on
how
looking
come
at
he's
videos
never
more
ever put up that confession video on his channel when he come back? I'm sorry guys, I'm a scammer, a sleazebag. But I want to change the way I do things in the future, which he hasn't. He's just gone back to his old ways. But anyway, yeah, what was I doing? Yeah, I just had to play that one game because I like Geekcraft. He's funny as. And more people need to listen to it. So keep repeating it on my show. Eventually, newcomers might wake up and hassle him over it. Okay, any other ones here? UFO haters and UFO frauds. Yeah, I do all these episodes. Probably only had like 100 views on it. Skywatch and Phoenix Lights. Blimps. More blimps. Ketchup. Alien 6. Now that one actually got the ads disabled, believe it or not, because we had some images of artwork. Crazy, isn't it? Even though my site's listed as adult only. Since Jabba's back. Sleepy Paul since Jabba's back. So what I'm saying is there, since I had the jab, I was sleepy. And still suffer. 500 uploads. That's that special one that looks like a pucky, wasn't it? I keep on going. Just so much. Yeah, this is meant to be the keyword attack, so obviously there's lots of words with attack in this. The continued decay of ufology. No one's listening though. This one was quite good here. Weird Brazil UFO cases. And I called it. I said the guy was a liar. Remember that one where he wrote the manuscript and he disappeared? I said, just wait and see. It's going to come out in the next news cycle that he's been found and he's okay, and it was all a scam to get people to read his manuscript or book or whatever. That one there. But Strange Brazil Cases. It's quite a good one. It's only like 10 minutes long, I think. 7 minutes long. What else we got here? Skidwalker Ranch, 5G, Harmon, It's another good one to watch if you want to learn about 5G. I did a study on it and presented it in lay terms. Why it's all bullshit that people are claiming on conspiracy sites. So it's harming us or controlling our minds. And also generating the virus, which is nonsense. Microwave energy, if anything, kills viruses. Bermuda Triangle with robots. Fire in the sky. That was me debunking it before that big hoo-ha came out with Roger admitting that they faked it. And I had pinned it, saying that there was a deer stand, but it turns out it was actually a fire stand a block away from where they were working. Men in Black Cases Part 1. We never did a Part 2, I don't think. Unfortunate. When Aliens Attack, here's the one I wanted. Okay, this is the one that you should watch. It's a good one. When Aliens Attack. You know, Greer says aliens are all good, right? The Space Brothers. Which makes him sound like disinformation. I guess it's not working again, is it? I'll say ET. Attacks. Hopefully Google doesn't delete it. All the links. Sometimes they do. Okay, so that's what I wanted, but also the Pavla, what's it called? Daytoff. I'm trying to think. How do you spell it? D-A-Y. How's it going? It's not, is it? That fly's annoying me again. I'm gonna have to get the whopper on you after the show. Oh shit, what's happening up there now? I'm gonna have to go, this fly's annoying me. I think he's part of the Men in Black. It's probably one of those drones. Daytoff, is it? If you don't spell it right, you never find it. That's the problem. Yeah, I thought so. Day, maybe. I wonder if we can do wildcards. No. This fly is gonna die. Jelly. Shame you can't catch flies. How do you spell it, guys? Help me out. I could cut and paste it then. Day. I suppose there's a lot of episodes with Day in it. Kevin Day and all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah, how do you spell it? Let's see. Let's do a Google on it. Day Loft, maybe? I think it's got a T in it though. Incident. Let's see what comes up. There we go. Not day. Close. It's got a T. I'll just get that word. That's what I was trying to spell. Okay. That should make it easy. Here we go. It's a really good episode. 183, a few years ago now. 2 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun. Copy. Make address. Okay. So, the Russian. Just call it the Russian incident. And then people know what you're talking about. Unless I mistype it, of course. This thing's not picking up the keys. Probably put 2 in or miss one. But anyway, I better start wrapping up now. Probably done enough talking. I did try to get these guys on though. Yeah. This one's good. A lot of new facts coming forward on that. So yeah, go and check it out. I think there might be even more stuff that's come out since then too. There's been a few more documentaries on it. Yeah, I don't think he put anything fake in here though, but let's just check before we wrap up. So that could be done by animals, it could be done by mushroom rings, as I call them, fairy rings. It doesn't have to be done by UFOs. He's just mixing various images here together. He's talking about flies being stuck on crop circles, was it? Don't think I've heard too much on that. He's obviously talking about pregnancy.
From, quote, exposures to anomalous vehicles, especially airborne and when in close proximity, unquote. The report added that it had 42...
So does that now mean that the American government have admitted that anomalous vehicles are causing sickness? But it doesn't say it's aliens though, does it? It still could be Russian or Chinese tech that's using to make people sick on the battlefield or whatever, you know? Is that how they're sort of aiming it? You see what I mean? Weaponized technology without killing people, which is what they need at the current Ukraine battle going on.
cases from medical files and 300 similar
Okay, I'll debunk this one too. That's another good one if you've not seen it. Break it down. And I've got some better images. He actually did that with a waffle iron. I call him the waffle iron man. This one's going to be a famous incident. But when you look at his past and history and put it all together, it starts falling to bits. So he also wouldn't. He refused to get into the cop car to get lifted to the station. He knew he was. He rubbed ash with radioactive isotopes in it on himself, and he didn't want to infect the cop's car, so it made people sick. So how would he know that alien stuff was radioactive? You know. So we do go over that case too. What was it called? Falcon Lake. It's another good one that you should have a watch of. Should keep you busy for the rest of the week. If you've not seen them. Falcon. And they actually made a coin. Oh, damn, it's not working again, is it? I'll just try Falcon. Okay. Okay. The image is a wee bit small. There we go. Reality check. Go and check out that one. I do my famous overlay of the actual waffle iron onto the scorch marks and scale it properly, and it lines up perfectly. Mr. Falcon Lake. Also explains some of the science behind it, where he was making claims that it ejected steam. And anyone that's seen steam come out of a pipe, do you actually see it come out as a round hole? Like he was claiming? No. It's the inverse square law again, isn't it? So as the distance goes, it forms more of a cone shape, and then steam and breaks up. But yeah, I'll go over that. And I'm just wondering why all these famous investigators out there, one of them was MJ Bananas, I mean. He was on Mutton's show talking about how great this thing is, and he met the person and all that. And yet, he didn't cover any of the good stuff, you know. Like, his past, and he was an alcoholic and all this sort of stuff, which changes the story quite drastically once you start knowing all the other facts. So it just makes me wonder what kind of websites these people will search on. But yeah, he was another guy I didn't like in ufology, a newcomer that come along that was grew really fast. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it there now. So he's got one fake story. I don't know if there's any other ones here. I'll just quickly check. Almost at the end. No. He's saying watch his last episode, blah blah blah. Now if you look at how much money he's making, even just doing one episode every 2 weeks. Let's have a look. So this one here went up quite a lot of views, and so did the last one. If you multiply that by 4 ads on a video, right, that brings it up to almost 1 million views. $1 per 1,000 views, that's $1,000 there. Give or take what ad blocker may remove, say 50%. He's making at least $500 a video. Plus he's getting Patreon. If you go to his Patreon up here on his toolbar, you can see how many people are subscribing to him. And that's just on the new video, right? You got to remember, people are always searching other websites that link to all his old stuff, and he's making money on that too. So he makes $1,000 a new episode, and all the old stuff is probably generating $1,000 every week still. And if you go to his Patreon, he's about 400. He doesn't list how much he's earning, which is dishonest. He just lists how many members there are. 443. If you multiply that, probably what would be the lowest amount most people would pay? $8 New Zealand. This shows how much our dollar is weakening against America. It's terrible. That's way too costly for someone like me, so most people might go for the $2 option. But in America, that's probably nothing, right? That's like $5. And they get paid a lot more money on welfare and all that sort of stuff. So I'd say go in between, say $5 times 440, that's like $2,000 a month he's got coming in there. Plus $2,000 a week on his YouTube channel. not bad for someone that, as you just heard, admitted to using fakes and purposely putting up fakes, knowing they were fakes, and all that sort of stuff. And he hasn't even admitted to the stuff he made himself. Okay. I really hate ufology because of these people. That's why I started my channel, you know. Before then, I wasn't really interested in YouTube at all, and I was more interested only in TV documentaries and BBC and all that sort of stuff. And then I thought, crikey, that this is influencing more people than on TV. And I thought, I've got to start a channel and start being a counter thing for what's being posted. And so I tried to learn how to make videos. If you watch some earlier stuff, it's really bad. But it's okay. It's not so bad as some other people that started off. So yeah, I learned pretty quick. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there now, guys, and let you guys eat something and get back to bed and have a nap or whatever. And I'll say good night and take care on the roads. And make sure you catch up on some of those episodes I posted on the side chat there. I know most of you won't, but you never know. And Godspeed. If there's a God, he's got to be looking after you. Because the aliens, I'm not too sure on. They may be doing some damage to us for their own gains. Into the Matrix we go. And that's Goodnight Kiwi, a famous cartoon that used to shut down the TV shows at night. But because it's copyrighted, I had to turn it into the Matrix to transform it. I hope you liked it, Jasper. It was a match potch today. Just to correct things and update things, and just have a little rant, I guess. And if you missed my show yesterday, it's about nanotechnology and whether it could be put into vaccines and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, better end this. Where's the end button? Does it appear to?